This is Chunky. Imagine if this was my roommate. I'm introducing you to my roommate, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna be honest, he doesn't eat a lot of food, he's pretty low maintenance, but he doesn't help around the house. Like, he's never doing the dishes, he's never vacuuming. If you came to my house and I introduced you to Chunky, my roommate, you'd be scared for a lot of reasons. You'd be like, what is going on? But at the same time, you're like, duh, he's not helping around the house. Duh, he just sleeps all day, guys. He's a deadbeat. Because he's dead, son. That's why. He is a skeleton, he's dead. And often some of us, we do this with our unbelieving friends. We're like, hey, if you just dress the right way. Hey, could you not curse so much? Can you use better language? Could you stop talking about women like that? Could you stop being so angry all the time and get some stuff together? Could you follow some laws for me? Okay, great. Oh, you don't want to? Why don't you want? He's dead, Ben. That's why. He doesn't have any flesh on the bones. Dead things are only going to do dead things. And we get this backwards so often. We think that if we could just get people to behave right, if we can get them to follow our laws, if we can get people who are dead to pretend to be or have to do Christian things, then boom sauce, we have a Christian nation. And Paul puts it this way in 1 Corinthians 2:14. He says, a natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit, for they are folly to him, and he is not able to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. What Paul is saying, what Mark is showing us, is that apart from grace, you can look at supernatural power and still be utterly closed to who Jesus is. You can see all these things that Jesus is doing in my life and in the life of others and still be closed off and say there is no God. It says, Simon Peter replied, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. Apart from a movement of the work of the Spirit, apart from the operation of grace in our life, I would have been that crowd. I would have heard the words of Jesus, I would have seen his power, I would have seen his miracles, and I would have left there with some bread, but been utterly unchanged. If you have the tiniest amount of faith, if you have the tiniest amount of love for the gospel, if you have the smallest amount of a desire to follow Jesus, you have that only because of the rescuing, transforming grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. Do you believe? Then don't you dare look down your nose at the people who don't. Don't be impatient with people who don't. Don't be arrogant about the free gift you received, because it is a gift of grace. Don't be even judgy. Paul says it this way in 1 Corinthians 5:12. He says, what business of mine is it to judge those outside the church? Are you not to judge those inside? Sure, if somebody claims to be a follower of Jesus, claims to be a Christian, then yeah, there might need to be some correction along the way, but they're not even claiming that. And what breaks my heart is when I hear fellow believers saved by grace, when they see the brokenness of this world and then say things like, what this country needs is they need more laws. What this country needs is Jesus. Only an encounter with the grace of Christ can put flesh on dry bones. Only Jesus can open spiritual eyes, can move from death to life. And if your eyes ever see the truth of the gospel, if your heart ever perceives it and ever receives it, if your mind ever understands the mysteries of the gospel of Jesus Christ, if you ever have a desire to live by faith and place your faith in Jesus, then you should know that grace has visited you.